Hi guys, and here's my review on the walk. I was gonna say The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead, season 6, episode 3. And man, this is a big episode for fans of Dwight from The Walking Dead, since we finally get to see him. Well, I'm always talking about spoilers in these reviews, so yeah, spoilers. He finally gets to reunite with Sherry. And man, when it got to that moment, I was like, oh man, we've waited so long for this. Yeah. It was definitely a rewarding moment for fans of Dwight. Also, I wasn't really a big fan of Dwight, and when Sherry was helping Del escape from Negan's place, and then like Sherry left as well. Yeah, I didn't really blame her because this place was making Dwight do bad things, and Sherry also didn't like the things he was doing, so she left. And I don't even know how many years later. I don't know. Should I say? No, not two. I don't even know. Because right now, the thing is, I don't know what timeline it is right now. Are we like 6 years behind from The Walking Dead's timeline? I'm not even sure anymore. 6 or 7, something like that. Because I still think they're in the old timeline. But maybe over a year after the events of, the Saviors falling, I think. Because I think Dwight did say he was looking for Sherry for a year. And then he was finally starting to get leads as well. And then he meets Morgan again and the rest of the crew. Then that situation happens where they get captured, Savior style. And now Dwight's kind of in the same situation that he was before. But at least something's finally worked out. But this is the thing, like, if Sherry goes with them, would she basically be in the same situation? Same situation that she was in before, but basically not as bad. But basically in the place that she probably doesn't want to be. Man, I just wonder how this is gonna go in the end. Oh yeah, let's just talk a little bit about Morgan. Also, I'm just gonna tell you guys, like, I should have said this at first. My reviews will be a bit shorter since I have to take care of other things that are more important. So yeah, when it comes to TV and movie reviews, yeah, they'll be a bit shorter. Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about Morgan. So in the previous episode, Morgan met Isaac, and Isaac's goal was to get to his wife before she needs to give birth, and Morgan was able to help him do that. They gave birth, and then Isaac died afterwards, but he named it's his daughter, right, Morgan. Lol. Because if you think about it, no, you don't need to think about it, because if Morgan wasn't there to help Isaac, like, his wife and baby probably would have died. I just don't know how things would have went. Something like that. Let's just say things wouldn't have worked out like this, like how they are now. But yeah, Morgan's basically looking after Isaac's wife and baby, Morgan. It feels weird to say Morgan to the baby, because I might also be talking about Morgan, the character who we've known for 10 years now. But I don't want to say it in that kind of way every time when I'm trying to say which Morgan. So I'll just say Isaac's daughter. That's the better way to say it, because I don't want to get confused with the both Morgans. And yeah, he's still trying to think of a plan how he's going to save everyone, but he's saying something about that he's not the same that he used to be. But then I guess Isaac's wife says that they'll still remember who you used to be, though, even no matter what you are now. Even though she's never met him, but okay. But yeah, there's not really much to say. I was thinking I was actually going to focus too much on Morgan this episode, but thankfully they didn't, because with everything that happens with Al and Dwight in this episode, because even Al had a character who she hadn't seen since the last season, I guess. If you guys remember that woman who was a part of the people in the black outfits in those helicopters who possibly took Rick in The Walking Dead season 9. Yeah, she had contact with one of those people, if it is the same people, but they both use helicopters a lot, so oh, it was going dark for a second. So yeah, she's possibly well, after World Beyond, I don't even need to even say possibly, like, it's certain that Rick has been taken by these people. Just like a character's dad. Well, I'm just talking about the girls. Those girls in Hope and Syria. How do you say their name? Basically, their dad got taken, and he secretly used to write letters, but then like didn't. They started to not hear anything. So it's possibly the same situation as Rick, but the only difference is that everybody thinks Rick's dead. So I just can't imagine what's going on with him. Yeah. So yeah, I just can't wait to see the movies as well for The Walking Dead, to see what actually happened to Rick and Mike at, get in contact with his family and stuff. And we'll probably think of an idea unless they actually reveal to us like what possibly happened to Rick. But I just feel like he's gonna have more of an important role why he hasn't been able to contact anyone. But still, I just can't imagine Rick, you know, having access to something where he could contact his people. But then I don't know, like would he have tried to escape? He possibly might have, but yeah, I'm talking too much about theories for the movies and what's also going on with the main character's dad in World Beyond. But get too much into that because we're now focusing on the character who was in season 5, who Al, I guess, kind of fell in love with, but because she says in this episode that meeting her made her feel alive, but she is a part of something important, so she had to go. But yeah, she actually gets to hear it on the radio, and I guess that's the main reason why they even go to this location, which is kind of funny that in the end, Dwight finds Sherry. Basically, they both could have found people who they love. But yeah, I'm just gonna get into the story of the hotel place. It is a hotel, right? But anyway, once they get inside, it's like full of walkers, and while they're trying to go up, because their goal is to go up there so they can send a flare, so the chopper will land. But they first encounter some survivors, and this survivor named Noah said that one of her people called Mark got shot by the people who were up there, who was in helicopters. So that might have been a different patrol, and it's not the same patrol that the person, because the patrol that you know Al's looking out for is the person who she met back in season 5, episode 4, was it? I just know that a lot of people didn't like that episode. Anyway, it was a cool insight to what this community who stole, who basically took Rick could be about. We didn't get too much information really, but we got and we did see. Did we see a walker with one of the outfits? I can't remember now. Because they did have a lot of hints back in season 5, and now we have World Beyond, and we can get more of an idea what happened to Rick. So yeah, there's so much to talk about with this new group, which we still haven't seen too much of. Can you still call them new? But whatever. I just want to get through the episode. So they basically discover, well, Noah basically shows them that these people have some kind of virus, and if they have some kind of antibiotics or something that could treat it, it could help them get rid of it. Because while they're going through the place to get to the rooftop, they basically see a lot of rats, and they could be carrying the virus, and it eventually gets to the point where Dwight gets infected. And I was like, oh man, can this really happen right now when we're supposed to get a reunion with Dwight and Sherry? Like, nah, he's not gonna die. They'll find something, because Al did say that you need some kind of antibiotics to treat it. So it's not like the most deadliest virus, but like if you don't treat it soon, you could die very quickly, like a day or two, or should I say like a day or two for the effects to take place. Because we do see one of the people who are there that have it bad on their neck, so those probably near to their death as well. But luckily, well, this is when Al decides to go up and take a risk, because what if these people could have shot her? Yeah, that would have been dangerous, but she still takes that risk. But yeah, and it kind of pays off because Well, first I'm gonna say that she does talk to the person who she met back in season 5, but I don't think they recognize her because it's not like the same with when Dwight noticed his wife's voice on Al's radio, because this was around the time where they needed to. Because yeah, this is the thing. Like, it's just funny that they gave him so much freedom when it was captured by Virginia. You'd think that they'd have at least one person who's watching them so they don't try anything. But I guess we wouldn't have got all these big things to happen if, someone was there, so I guess, but come on, like they could run away or something, but Virginia probably thinks that they'd get their but she probably told him that if they tried to run away or anything, like their friends would be in danger for that. So obvious reasons why they wouldn't run away. Or that would just come to mind anyway. But So yeah, back to when she basically sends a flare up in the sky so the helicopter can land, but she does have a little talk with the person, who she knew back in season 5, well, who she met. And she kind of tells her to not land at a dangerous area. And I'm thinking, like, what made her do that call to not make her land? I just can't even think why she would make that choice, but it still worked out anyway because that person then told him where there's a supply drop, and that actually helps him out instead of just having beer. I just wonder if she knew that there would be antibiotics in there because that also saves everyone. But yeah, then they just like the person just moves on to the next area since that's now recorded as a non-safe area. Also, like Al and Dwight were recording because I guess that's what their goal is, to record areas that are dangerous or also discover the problem why that area is dangerous so it doesn't happen to the people who they're with right now, Virginia's people. So I guess that's their job while also scavenging for stuff. Oh yeah, I didn't really talk too much about Noah, the character on the right, top right. I did say that she, I guess, lost someone, Mark, since they got shot when they went up the roof. But I guess those same people wasn't there. It must be a part of the same group though. Yeah. But I was able to recover something that belonged to him, that has his face on it. So that kind of helped Nora with the grieving, since I guess she was close to Mark. Yeah, Mark was a. I mean, sorry, not Mark. Nora was an okay character. And at least she didn't shoot him straight away, since she could have just did that. Like, they could have been hostile, but she gave him a chance, and I guess they helped her out in the end. But yeah, not too much to say about her character. And yeah, at the end when they're gonna call back, because they need to keep track of the time when they need to go back, otherwise Virginia will get angry. Well, they then hear a voice that's familiar to Dwight and to us fans of The Walking Dead. And it's actually Sherry, since he says honey. Like, she just knows straight away. She doesn't even. She's just silent once she hears Dwight's voice, and then he just runs outside, and they reunite. Like, oh man, that scene. Could have made me cry. Just all those years later, we finally get to see them together again, and of course the kiss. Yeah, the image on the bottom right. Yeah, it's good to see them again together. Probably like the biggest like reunion scene in the show. Should I go that far? Well, I can't think of any. Well, in the top of my head, I can't think of like the biggest reunion scene in the show other than this, because we've waited a long time to see Sherry and Dwight together. Especially since I started to like Dwight. Yeah, I did want him to see Sherry again. But yeah, it's just cool that they've finally reunited. But I just wonder what Sherry's going to think of Virginia and that community. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.